What's up, man? Welcome to the new podcast. Man, I want to talk about those NBA games that was on yesterday, man. Pretty good performances by Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant. I want to talk about Ben Simmons first. I was critical of Ben Simmons' performance in game one versus the Nets and the Brooklyn Nets. And my concern was that with Joel Embiid apparently injured, and probably won't play at 100% for this round and probably the next round, which hopefully he's ready for the second round, but for this round in particular, I thought Ben Simmons played poorly because if he's going to be that guy that we think he's going to be, and a lot of people say that he's like Magic Johnson, but to me, he's not like Magic Johnson. Ben Simmons, he has some good ball handling for a big man at 6'10", 6'9", however tall he is, and he can pass the ball. But he's not a choreographer of the offense like a Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson seen the floor, way better, and yeah, people will say, well, Ben Simmons is only 22, but I believe Magic came in about 22, 23 himself. And right off the bat, you just seen him just take over the team of the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's when they still had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So he came in and he just ran that offense, and it became showtime. Ben Simmons has a different skill set than Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was well refined. Magic Johnson even had a post-up game. Ben Simmons, I believe, I seen Ben Simmons in college play in the post a little bit more than he does in the NBA. And my knock on him last year was when he was struggling in that Boston series. Man, you need to get these little guards in the post, because even if they switch off the guard and they don't want to let the guard Ben Simmons because he has so much of a height difference in weight differential. Even if they put a small forward or a shooting guard on him, he still have a height advantage on most shooting guards, most small forwards in the league, and weight. So he should be in the post more. Yes, he doesn't shoot the ball. To me, he needs to start shooting the ball. Like 15 feet and in, 15 feet, he should be shooting those shots, normally. Now, if he don't shoot the three, okay, that's fine. I know this league nowadays is predicated on, being able to shoot the three. But DeRozan don't shoot the three, and DeRozan has a mid-range game. That's what Ben Simmons needs to develop. He needs to shoot about, I'm not going to say he needs to shoot 1,000 shots a day. He just needs to shoot effective shots with really good form every day. It's not really the amount of shots you shoot. It's the ones that you shoot with good form and, without hesitation. That's what, and he needs to do that every day. He needs to shoot a lot of mid-range shots from 18, 15 feet, 10 feet. He needs to shoot those. Develop that, be comfortable with at least taking those shots, because he don't even take those shots. And there's people just bagging off. Teams are bagging off of him and daring him to shoot that shot. Now, it may not hurt him in this round, but if they ever play Boston again, if they ever play Toronto, it's going to hurt them, because they're going to pack the paint on him and tell him, hey, you're going to have to beat us from 18, 15 feet. And he's not going to be able to do it. To me, to combat that he doesn't shoot the ball well, he needs to go in the post and be effective there. Just go in the post and play your back to the baskets more within the offensive sets. And to me, that would help Ben Simmons on his maturation as far as being more of a scoring option on the floor, because he needs to be, especially if Joel Embiid is not going to be healthy. And he didn't play yesterday. He barely played in game one. He barely played in that game. So he's not going to be healthy. And I don't see him playing the next game, because as long as the Sixers are winning and they're not the series is not tied or they're not down a game, he's not going to play. And that's probably going to go for round two. If the San Francisco can get control of that series, right off the bat, he probably won't play then. So Ben Simmons, I know he got Tobias Harris. I know he got Jimmy Butler. JJ Redick, a really good shooter. But the 76ers does not have they do not have a good bench. So that means the starters have to perform well, like really well. You know what I'm saying? They can get away with it against, even though the Brooklyn Nets have a lot of talent, they're young. A lot of them have not even been to the playoffs. I think Jared Dudley has some playoff experience on that team. Who else? I know LeVert, he doesn't have any playoff experience. Russell, this is his first time. Dinwiddie, this is his first time. It's Jared Allen. It's a lot of first times for those guys. So they can get away with it possibly in this series if they don't fall asleep. But Ben Simmons the last couple games he's been great. Now, I have to give credit where credit is due. The best thing for Ben Simmons is pushing the ball, getting a full head of steam, that LeBron James type bully ball to the basket type offense. And he had a triple double the last game. This game he played very well. Tobias Harris came in and played very well. Jimmy Butler is like an all tools type player. Jimmy Butler gonna give you points, rebounds, steals, really good monstrous defense. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go off sometimes because that's he's a really good player. So and that's what he's capable of doing. But Ben Simmons is gonna have to drive this train. He's gonna have to drive this train. They have that what's that guy named? The big guy, 7'3" guy. He's playing very well. In the absence of Joel Embiid, he's giving them some good post up. And some really good big man presence down low. So he's actually come in and kind of offset some of that, Joel Embiid production. He can't do it all. He can't give you all what Joel Embiid give you, of course, but he can give you some, and that's helping. Kevin Durant, everybody was saying how Patrick Beverley from my hometown, Chicago, Patrick Beverley, tough-nosed defensive player. But, everybody was making a big deal saying that he kind of was giving Kevin Durant problems. I never thought he was giving Kevin Durant problems. I'm looking at the game. And one thing that you can get caught up in is a one-on-one type thing. And Kevin Durant said it well. Why would I get caught up in one-on-one when I got Steph, Clay, Draymond, all these players on my team? And why would I get caught up one-on-one with Patrick Beverley? Because that's what the Clippers want you to do. The Clippers want him to look at Patrick Beverley and say, man, you can't guard me, and just go totally at the offense and keep everybody else off rhythm. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't buy into that. He didn't bite into that. Now, what's very disturbing to me was when they blew a 31-point lead at home. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they were at the Clipper Stadium. They blew a 31-point lead at home, which is I don't know, man. The Warriors sometimes they get out of focus and for no reason. Like how can you lose a 31-point lead in the third quarter? You know what I'm saying? At home. That's still mind-boggling. But Kevin Durant in the last night's game scored 38. Very efficient, like he always is. I think he took like 20-something shots. He even said in the last game in the interview, he said that, look, I'm not going to go out there and take bad shots or take 30 shots. It's not in this game. That is not in this game. Kevin Durant is somebody that can take 20-something shots and score 45, score 50. You know what I'm saying? He's not a volume shooter like a Dame Lillard or Russell Westbrook or a Kyrie Irving. He's not a volume shooter like those guys. Now, even people will look at Steph Curry and look at Steph Curry in a way saying, they will look at him and say, man, he's a volume shooter, but Steph Curry is not a volume shooter. Steph Curry is another guy that can take 20-something shots and score 50 on you because he's so efficient. And, I was having a discussion with my son, and, we always discuss who's better, Curry or Kyrie or Dame Lillard or Westbrook. And I said what sets Curry apart from all those guys, even though all those guys except for Kyrie, well, Kyrie is still probably more athletic than, well, him and Steph Curry are probably the same in athleticism. Well, Dame Lillard and Westbrook, what separates him from those guys is his efficiency, man. He's efficient. He doesn't take 30 shots or 35 shots to get 30. And the good thing about that is he can take 10 shots less than them And those other 10 shots can go to his teammates, and he can keep those teammates in rhythm. When you have a point, especially at the point guard position, because none of these guys are really traditional point guards. Let's just put it out. Even Curry, he's still not a traditional point guard. Chris Paul, Rondo, to name a few, it's not a lot of traditional. A lot of these guys are short, you know what I'm saying, and they are shooting guards in a point guard body, and that's how the game is going. The game is more towards the point guard than the big man, how it was back in the 80s, 90s, traditional basketball, how it was before we start getting to this age of everybody shooting threes, because everybody's trying to be like Golden State. And Steph Curry brought in the evolution of the three-point shot to where I think I seen a statistic on TV. They said every team averaged about 25 three-pointers a game, and mind-boggling. The three-point shot is the worst shot on the court. And it's a lot of people that should not even be shooting threes. That's a story for another day. But like I said, Curry is set apart from those guys because of his efficiency. You know what I'm saying? And he's very efficient. He's a better shooter than all of those guys. And, my son said, well, he's not a better shooter than Kyrie. He's not a better shooter than Dame Lillard. Yes, he is. He's a better shooter than both of them. Just go look at the shooting percentages. Go look at the free throw percentage, the three-point percentage, the raw field goal percentage. Look at all that. Curry is better than them. And look at the career numbers. I think Curry for his career, Curry is probably shooting about 52% for his career, if I'm not mistaken. And I know Dame Lillard, Westbrook, Kyrie, those guys shoot about 43, 44% from for their career and field goal percentage. So, I think all three of those guys, except for Westbrook, is a good free throw shooters. But, as far as field goal percentage, your field goal percentage besides the free throw, Curry is the best point guard shooting. He's the best shooter in the league. Klay Thompson. Now people say, well, Klay Thompson is a great shooter too. I'm saying as a variety of the ways that you shoot the ball well. Like Steph can shoot the ball standing still well. He can shoot the ball off the dribble well. He can shoot the ball coming off picks, coming off curls well. The only thing that Klay cannot do very well is shoot the ball off the dribble really well. He's probably the best. Klay Thompson is probably the best standstill shooter in the league. You know what I'm saying? And with the less dribbles, because it was one game against my Chicago Bulls where I think he only took like 6 dribbles, and this man hit like he broke the record for 3-pointers. I think he hit like 13 or something like that on 6 dribbles. Put that in your computer and figure that out. The man is a great shooter, great standstill shooter, catch and shoot shooter. So Kevin Durant, the Warriors should wrap this up in 5 against the Clippers. The Clippers are a decent team. It's just they don't have the talent there yet. You know what I'm saying? So Golden State should have swept them, in my opinion. But they fell asleep. Even if they fell asleep with a 31-point lead, y'all should have still won that game. I'm still trying to figure out how did they lose that game, man? I know Lou Williams went off. I know he went off. I know that other young dude went off that used to play for Philly. Philly lost a lot of good players off their bench. They lost that little dude. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's with the Clippers now off their bench. They lost Ilyasova. They lost Bellinelli. These are the guys they had last year. And they lost, Covington was a starter. And I think Sarge was a starter. I think Sarge was a starter. Was Sarge a starter? Maybe Sarge was coming off the bench. But they lost a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And they got Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. Now, the San Francisco got to hope is Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris sign back. Because if they don't sign, let's just say the San Francisco get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's just say miraculously Joel Embiid come back healthy, and him and Ben Simmons play out of their mind. Play really, really great, and they carry that team to the finals. You know what I'm saying? To the NBA finals. You know what I'm saying? And they lose to the Warriors in a hard-fought 5 or 6. That probably would be worth Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris coming there and then not signing back. But if they don't get at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's say they get knocked out in the second round and Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris leaves. That's disappointing. That's a big hole right there. Now, they could probably get some other free agents to come there. You know what I'm saying? I believe Jimmy Butler or Tobias Harris will sign back. I don't think both of them will. I think one of them will. If you sign both of them back, the 76ers will not be able to beef up that bench. So they will have to make a choice between Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Now, when you look at Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris, it's tough because to me, they're kind of like on the same level, even though Jimmy Butler went to some All-Star games, and I believe Tobias Harris never went to an All-Star game. He's on that cusp of being an All-Star. Tobias Harris is a better shooter than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler and him, they're about to equal in being able to slash and get to the rim. Jimmy Butler's a better defender. They both rebound the ball pretty well. I think Jimmy Butler can make a little bit more than Tobias Harris. So they about on the same level. I believe they're about the same age as well. I believe they're around about the same age, maybe a year difference up in there. So who would I choose? I probably will go with... It's a tough one, man. I will probably go with Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler is a dog. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, Jimmy Butler has hit some big shots, and he not afraid to take big shots. I'm not saying Tobias Harris, is afraid. I'm not saying he won't take big shots. I'm just saying I seen Jimmy Butler take them and make them. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably choose Jimmy Butler and then beef up that bench. So you can have Jimmy Butler, you have Ben Simmons, you have Joel Embiid, you have J.J. Redick. You know, you got to bring somebody else in there, and then beef up that bench. You know what I'm saying? Because if they sign both of them back, they're going to have the same problems they have this year, not a strong bench. And when you're in the playoffs, and especially when you're playing them really good teams, you have to have some relief for your starters. Because NBA playoff basketball is much more physical, much more taxing on your body. You use more energy than you do in a regular season game because all the focus is on that series. Everybody knows your strengths, your weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to beef up that bench. But, yeah, man. They both had some pretty good games yesterday. Like I said, I was impressed by Ben Simmons. He bounced back, man. He had a really good two last games. I was getting worried. I'm not going to sugarcoat it after the first game. I was going to drop a video and go in on Ben Simmons because he has to. If you don't shoot the ball, if you're not willing, he's not even willing to. You know what? I think he only shot, and no lie, go look at his stats. I think I seen that Ben Simmons took less than 23s this season out of 82 games. In a league that 3-pointers are of a major emphasis. Now, I'm not the type that say that everybody should shoot threes because everybody in the league shooting threes. Now, I'm not in that camp of a lot of people shooting threes. When I was growing up looking at basketball, guys like Steve Kerr, Ray Allen, Craig Hodges, a lot of these guys were 3-point specialists, and these guys were the ones that were taking threes. Guys like Mark Price, point guard that used to play for Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? These guys were specialists. Dale Ellis, you know what I'm saying? So back then, those guys took the threes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm not into this shooting all these threes, man. But this is where the NBA is. You know, it's going to be like this. It's a copycat league. Everybody trying to match what the Warriors is doing. I say the reason why the Warriors are going to still be successful even for another couple more years is because everybody trying to play how they play, and they are sitting back laughing like we got these teams playing how we play. How are y'all going to beat them playing how they play? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have different styles to combat the Warriors. You can't play like them. You can't go out and shoot 33s, try to match them like the crazy number like the coach for Mike D'Antoni for the Houston Rockets, saying that he want his team to put up 53s a game. Like, dude, like, seriously? Like, what is going on? See, when he had that Phoenix Suns team, now Phoenix did take a lot of threes. They had Steve Nash orchestrating that offense, and he did it beautifully. Even better than Harden. Now, Harden is scoring more in the offense the Suns had when they had Steve Nash. But to me, Steve Nash ran the offense better because Steve Nash wasn't an ISO player. He didn't ISO like James Harden. James Harden ISO'd a lot, and the ball is not moving like it did when Steve Nash was orchestrating it. Now people are like, man, he's a better player than Steve Nash. Okay, he's a different player than Steve. I can't say he's better than Steve Nash. Why? Because he's scoring almost 30 points a game. He's better than Steve Nash. Steve Nash wasn't asked to score that many points. Steve Nash, if you go look at his shooting percentages, Steve Nash, he was shooting 50% from the field, 90-something% from the free throw line, and 40-something% from three. So Steve Nash was a tremendous basketball player back in the day.